I learn how to learn. I am knowledge.
There are three areas critical to the success of the Black community in Africa and the African diaspora. They are culture, education, and economics. In this video series, we continue to examine issues and concepts related to education and self-love, which those who care about the Black community may examine and consider. But culture is the foundation. Again, what is culture? The word culture comes from the word cultivate, which is related to the domestication and growth of plants. But culture is a way to cultivate and civilize people. This is done by establishing universal laws and standards of behavior. We call those universal laws the guiding principles of peace and unity. It is a moral, ethical framework that says do good, do no harm to others. You can get a copy of the guiding principles of peace and unity at our website, thegppu.org. With these universal laws as a foundation, culture will prepare you for life, foster your growth, and help improve you as a person and a community. You can watch our previous videos about why we need culture and how it helps us create civilization. Today, we continue to discuss the two critical roles that education plays in developing culture and self-love. In our previous video, we said that the first role of education in developing culture and self-love is teaching people, especially children, their history. That is critical. Today we will discuss the second role of education in developing culture and self-love. That consists of understanding the nature of intelligence and showing people their intelligences and providing them with an opportunity to use those intelligence for development of self-love. So, what is intelligence? Let's start by defining what it is not. Intelligence is not defined with an intelligence test. You've heard of the IQ tests that measure intelligence with a score, but that IQ test is limited, biased, and not predictive of anything. This is a major problem because the world's dominant educational systems are based in part on IQ as their foundation. I'd like to introduce another educational theory that better reflects the true reality of intelligence and has powerful implications for the future of education. I'm talking about the theory of multiple intelligences. The theory of multiple intelligences was first proposed in 1983 by Dr. Howard Gardner, a cognitive psychologist. The theory of multiple intelligences says that there are 9 types of intelligence: verbal linguistic intelligence, mathematical logical intelligence, spatial visual intelligence, musical rhythmic intelligence, bodily kinesthetic intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, naturalistic intelligence, and existential intelligence. Gardner proposed that what was being called one intelligence was actually composed of these 9. We will go into more detail about each of the 9 intelligences in future videos. What is important today is that Gardner believes that all people possess 9 intelligences. He says that some intelligences are talents that are dominant, externalized, easily used mental functions in some people, while other intelligences are latent, non-dominant, internalized, undeveloped mental functions in some people. Existing educational systems were created during the industrial age. Schools were designed like factories, to educate large groups of children in mass. To be efficient, these educational systems focus primarily on verbal linguistic intelligence, reading and writing, and mathematical logical intelligence. The other 7 intelligences that Gardner identified are not consistently addressed by traditional educational systems. That is a problem for all children, but especially for Black children. You see, it is by achieving small steps of success in education a child discovers talents and skills that contribute to the development of self-love. The problem with existing educational systems is that they generally ignore 7 of the 9 intelligences that Gardner identified. Dr. Gardner believes that when children are allowed to access learning opportunities in their dominant intelligence area, that access allows them to excel not only in that area, but also allows them to use that strength to access the less strong or non-dominant intelligence areas. When music education is removed from a school, the children who are musical, rhythmic, intelligent, dominant, lose a major chance to learn music. But they also lose the opportunity to use music to access and strengthen math skills, like fractions, verbal linguistic skills, like reading and writing, bodily kinesthetic skills, like dance, intrapersonal skills, like music composition, and interpersonal skills, like collaborating in an orchestra or a band. In the Black community, when a child is dominant in an intelligence area that is not taught by the existing educational system, that child will be labeled and thrown into special programs. Or the child will be ignored until they drop out of the educational system. Years of educational systems telling children that they are not intelligent and therefore not of value because their systems do not allow them to access and utilize their areas of intelligence, dominance, prevents those children from developing skills and self-love. Let's continue with the example of music education. Most Black children attend public schools. In Black communities, music education has generally been removed from public school systems. And even if the school has a music program, usually administrators and teachers don't know how to use music to teach math, writing, reading, language arts, physical movement, and the other intelligences. Think about John Coltrane, Billie Holiday, Louis Armstrong, Prince, Jay-Z. They had high levels of musical rhythmic intelligence. That intelligence allowed them the opportunity for skills development and the development of self-love. They created amazing careers, businesses, and even industries. They got lucky because the dominant educational system did not help them accomplish that. What would have happened if they had never had access to music? The issue of the kind of education our children receive affects their skills development and the development of self-love. But it also affects their ability to feed themselves, and it affects the economics of our communities. Musical rhythmic intelligence in education is just one example. Dr. Gardner has identified 9 intelligences. We will discuss them when we meet again. Until then, do good, do no harm.